Alright, likely if you're watching this video, you saw some guys fighting swords, heard flash steel, and you're gonna get started yourself. But if you're on a limited budget, you need to get your sparring gear, absolute cheapest option available. That's the purpose of this video. So, Filipino martial arts in general has a much quicker barrier to entry than HEMA or other bladed combat arts, but no reason you can't use this HEMA gear. I use this Filipino martial arts gear for HEMA also. So, absolute cheapest, and I mean cheap, option is you just use a rubber knife and some safety goggles, like the completely enclosed ones, like you're a scientist or something. I mean, you could probably do that on Amazon for like 60 bucks and you're good. You know, hell, maybe even 40 bucks, honestly. But what I recommend, just for the absolute cheapest option, is the Aquastrike Mimic and safety goggles. Again, like the completely enclosed, you're a scientist one, right? Because you really don't want to get a knife to the eyeball. Nice thing with the Aquastrike, I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not receiving a single dollar. I just really appreciate this product. So I'll turn it on. So if you hit with the back, doesn't do anything. Side, doesn't do anything. But if you use the cutting edge, lights up. Not showing up real well on the camera, but red light, green light. So there is also an alarm on this too, but there's people around, so don't want to make it too obnoxious what I'm doing right now. And also, it activates with thrust too. So as you can see, hit with the back, nothing. Side, nothing. But cutting edge, lights up. Tip, lights up. So the Aquastrike Mimic, you can get this for about $50. And it's great for if you're training knife stuff in general. And you can do this safely with just the completely enclosed safety goggles. And that would run you maybe around 80 bucks, something like that. A good upgrade would be if you go on to Kill. Again, not sponsored, no affiliation whatsoever. Combat Industries Limited, I think is the company. They make all the Dog Brothers affiliate stuff. Right, so you got these black fencing masks. What the fuck is that? Like this. I really like this fencing mask because it's really tight fitting. It's not big and bulky, so less chance of it going to get knocked off your head or anything. And they also sell these really light gloves, which are perfectly good for knife sparring or foam sparring, which is really what this video is going to be about. Yeah, so all this together, Aquastrike Mimic, fencing mask, which I would personally prefer over goggles, but if you're on bare minimum budget, goggles can work if you're only using this. And gloves, that's gonna probably run you around 150 bucks ish. If I'm wrong with that, I'll include a note on the video. So I would definitely prefer a fencing mask to enclosed goggles. Only thing about that is you really want to make sure to have gloves on if you're going to spar against a fencing mask. The reason being is it has this grated wire mesh over it. And I know from experience, if you are not wearing gloves because you're like, oh, I'm just doing a drill, you're you're just gonna grate your fingers off. It's gonna suck. So anytime fencing mask, you should be wearing gloves. If you're wanting to do more like machete, one-handed sword and stuff, you should really do a foam padded stick like this, the kill gloves, and the kill mask. The set's gonna run you about $200, and it's really the just bare minimum expense. You can't do this type of sparring any cheaper than that. Even with a foam stick, I really didn't want to get hit in the head, full force sparring, you know, without the mask. So, and even with the gloves, it's going to be extremely risky not having gloves, even with a foam stick. So, yeah, bare minimum for this type of sparring, $200. Kill mask, kill gloves, foam stick I just got off of Amazon. If you want to add in some knife or do a Spada y Daga, knife and sword stuff, add in the Aquastrike Mimic, and that'll run you about $250. This is your absolute bare minimum expense in order to get into sparring and Filipino martial arts, and really even HEMA and stuff like that.